So start doing one numerical part with the case study of numerical of balanced assignment problem. Note down the information what is given to you. We have given the workers, right? WKERS workers. How many workers are given in this case scenario? We are provided with 4 workers, W1, W2, W3 and W4 workers are there, and we are also provided with the jobs. How many jobs we are provided? Now we are taking in a jobs of 4. Why we have taken a jobs of 4? Because it is a balance problem, so 4 workers and the 4 jobs are there. J1, J2, J3 and J4, right? This is the matrix, and this matrix is of cost matrix. So you can note down over here is a cost matrix. Okay, the cost matrix is given to you. You have to do the assignment problem and telling us that which workers should be given which job so that your work will be done up in a proper way, right? So workers over here, and this is the job for all J1, J2, J3, right? So I've done in this way and make it in the box part so that it is more visible to you, and it is like fine. I think so it's fine to you and clear, visible. Okay. Proceed further. Now coming up to the next point, what we have to do in the next, what are the cost matrices given to you? Definitely. So note down the cost matrix value. Note down, it's given to you when the worker 1 is given a job 1, the cost per worker is 2. The next one is 10. For J3 is 9. And for this one is 7, right? For worker 2 to J1 is 15. Next is 4. And the next is 14. And the next one is 8. For worker 3 and all the different jobs is 13, 14, 16 and 11. And the last one, that is for the worker 4, we have the different jobs, and that will be 4, 15, 13 and the last one is 9, right? So these are the information which is provided to you. Now this is a question of a balanced assignment problem, so you can write it over here is a balanced assignment problem. Hope you remember, we all done this type of topic, but now we are using with the Excel so that we can find out the same scenario in Excel also, right? Now making it in a box, what information? Jobs are given, so highlighted jobs, and the workers are given to you, and we have to find out which assignment should be provided to the other person. Remember, first we always have to find whether the question is of balance or not. Now this question is a balance, right? Now my decision variable is how much worker, which worker should be assigned to this. So I'm just copying this matrix once, copy over here and put it over here, deleting the variable over here, right? I just delete all this. Now we have to find, this is my table heading will be decision variable, right? This is my decision variable. My point over here, if you remember the practical point, if the worker 1 is given a job number 1, so we give it as a 1. Will the worker 1 will do for the job 2? No, that the answer will be 0. Same with J3, same for J4. Now the job 1 is done by the worker 1, so definitely this W2 will be 0, W3 will be 0 and W4 will be 0, right? As you know this information. Now, what does this indicate? This indicates that always the value by the workers to the jobs will be in the binary number only, right? As if one is doing the one work or the one worker is given a one task, definitely the other one will be in the job 0, 0. So in this way, we have to find the value. But now I'm not using it. I'm just showing one assumption that if one worker is going for the one job, definitely the other person will not do anything, right? So putting over here, I just want to find out one thing. Just write down over here is the row sum, right? What will be the row sum over here? That should be 1. So, but we should show it sum total of all these values and wind up. And the total will be right now coming as a 1, right? Why it is coming 1? So it is written over 1. But once I delete this value, the answer will change. So I'm just deleting 1 over here. Even I'm deleting all the values as it is just an assumption. Same example we just calculate over as a column total, column sum, right? Column sum, what will be the column sum in this case is equals to sum and total of all these variables, and enter, same copy up, and this one I put up. Now what the point I want to check in this, that this column sum is always to be 1. Why it should be 1? Because the one worker should do the one job only. Now what I can find it over here, my point decision over here is to find out which worker should be given which job. So how we can use this point? We just make it one more option over here is a supply. What we write it over here as a supply. Why we have used the word supply over here? Because this row sum should be equals to, what, to whom it should be equal? It should equal to all these variables, right? It should be equal. It should be equal. Now, why we have taken this equal value? Hope you find out why we have written it as it should be equal. We want to find out that this row sum should always be equal to 1. Why? Again, we have taken a situation that it cannot be more than that value, right? So I'm just writing over here equals to and dragging all the values. It's not compulsory that you have to write, ma'am, we have to write it as this equals to, not at all, just showing it as we know that it should be equal, right? So just write it over as that it should be equal to, what is it equal to? It should be equal to supply, right? So you can show up or else you can ignore this. But we have to show it in that way so that it may make it clear that this column sum again is equal to demand, and demand for all this is always be equal to 1, 1, 1 and 1, right? That should be equals to. Okay, coming up to the next point, what will we do in the next? Now we use the concept of the most important thing is an objective function. What is my objective function? So write it over here is an objective function. And what is my objective function? That whatever the worker is provided with job, right, which job, that should always be in a cost effective manner. So we write it as an objective function over here and use the same concept, that my concept is sum product, right? So use the product, sum product. Objective function is always being the help of sum product. So write it over here is a sum product of what? Write it, sum product, select it, sum product of what? We have to select this cost matrix, right? Select all the cost matrix, comma, your volume, that's your decision variable, that should be multiplier, and then bracket close. Right now it's showing 0. Why it is showing 0? Because the figures are not yet filled up, which we have to find out. So this is my most important thing which I want to calculate with the help of this concept. Now go to the data column over here, use the solver. Solver will take the set objective. What is your objective? Yes, this is my objective, that I want to find out my proper assignment problem. Now what we have to select, again in the assignment we want it to the minimum, so select it the minimum by changing variable cell. Which cell you want to change? This one, right? And but subject to the constraint, yes, definitely there is some constraint. What type of constraints you have? Add it over here, add subject to the constraint. What constraint? That this row sum. Select all the row sum together, put it, the find it over here, it is written, it should be greater than, less than. What now? These options are there, drag down over here and you find it, the different options are there. Less than, equals to, greater than, right? Interior value, it should be a binary value, it should be difference, but we have to select which value, that should be equals to, right? The row sum should always be equal to the supply. We have taken it as a 1, right? Because we just discussed one worker should be given a one job. So select it over here as supply, right? We haven't put it 1, we should put it as a 1 first of all over here. Add one more constraint. That constraint is a sum total, right? It should be equal. This is your demand, right? Add one more thing, point over here. What point should be there? One important point should be there. First one is that your supply. Second is your demand, that the column total. Column sum should always be equals to 1, definitely. is equals to, remember we have to add is equals to, right? But one more constraint, do you find it over here? Think it about what that can be the next constraint. That all your values, this values which we have to find out, that value, what can be that value? That value should be binary only, right? No need to write it binary, it will show up. Then we just fill it as an okay. So three objectives are there. Check it over there, solving a method. Which type of method now you are using it? Again, a simplex LP method. And then you can go to the solver. It will definitely show you some problem because the sum value is not showing up, right? It will say you okay, you can do it okay, and put it now over here as a 1, 1, 1, and 1. Now check the result will change up. What we have to do, we have to go to the solver first of all. Check it over there. Only one issues are there for the binary. We have done it. This, right? Now solver. Solver find a solution and all the constraints and objectivity conditions are satisfied, right? Now go to OK and see the result. Now hope you finding out the results are changed up. This is the way if you have done some mistakes while doing your calculation part, don't be worried in that. It will be done up when you remember that this one work has been left out. So don't worry that when I forget to apply the supply is equals to 1, don't worry, don't worry. You can add the solver once again, you can reset your figure also. So what we find it over here, note down over here, and your objective function also came up 28 which you want to check out. What we find it over here, note down over here that the worker 1, your worker 1 is provided with job. The worker 1, W1 will go to the job number 3, right? And your worker, now the next worker is your worker 2, will go for the job number 2. Your worker, next worker, that is your worker number 3, will go for with job number 4. Your worker number 4 will go for job number 1. When this assignment will be done up as per the situation given by the data with the help of a solver, we find that my transport for my assignment cost, that is the most important thing which we are finding out, my assignment cost is just rupees 28. So this is the way we are able to find the solving the assignment problem with the help of a solver. Yes, we should know about how these questions are done up in the different scenario, though we can use the pen and paper also, but with the help of an Excel, we are able to find out a solution.